handshake, and a picture, right? In front of everybody. Let's burn that time. I'm going to be sitting here. I am nothing. I am not. You're not talking to me. I'm only here in case there's a problem. Okay? So don't ask me a question. You talk right into this camera. You look right into camera right here. See where I'm pointing, right on the stage? This is where you're going to want to look in, right down the barrel of the camera so that he can see you. Okay? Little V for Vendetta. You about ready with your first question? We're going to start here in just a few minutes. You guys having fun here at Comic-Con? I am exhausted, but I'm exhausted and happy. This is like Christmas. This is amazing. So I don't know if you guys heard the numbers or anything like that. Did you hear that we sold out? We have officially sold out.
Thank you. Before we start with the question, I want to tell you a little story. When we were making the original series, during the third season, we were shooting an episode called The Gamesters of Triskelion. And on a Friday afternoon, the producers called me to their office and they said, we need for Spock to do a song, to sing a song on Monday, and it should have an Elizabethan feeling about it. Is there a song that you can think of that we could use? And I said, well, let me think about it over the weekend. And over the weekend, I wrote a song called Maiden Wine. And I sang it on camera in the show. We filmed it on the following Monday, and it went something like this. Take your young ladies and value your wine. Be watchful of young men in their velvet prime. Deeply they'll swallow for your finest kegs, then swiftly be gone, leaving bitter dregs. There's a frog in my throat and I'm having trouble singing. Man offers little and asks for so much. He loves in the breathless excitement of night, and he leaves with your treasure in cold morning light. Ah, cold morning light. With smiling words and tender touch, man offers little and asks for so much. He loves in the breathless excitement of night, then he leaves with your treasure in cold morning. Ah, cold morning light. Ah, cold morning light. Ah, cold morning light. And listen to this. The handsome, talented guitarist on my left is my grandson, Leonard Nimoy. He's very talented. Going to be a great guitarist. He's a very good guitarist now. Going to be great soon. Okay, let's have some questions. How you doing, Salt Lake? I'm so happy to be with you. Well, who's this young man at the microphone? What's your name?
Elon.
Say it again. Speak into the microphone. What's your name?
Elon.
John?
Elon.
Okay, I got you. That's a great hat you're wearing. Where'd you get that hat? Okay, I shouldn't be asking questions. You're the one that has to ask the question. Go ahead.
What's your favorite Star Trek ship?
My favorite? What's the question?
What's your favorite Star Trek ship?
My favorite Star Trek movie? Is that what you're asking?
What's what's your favorite Star Trek ship?
The ship of the Enterprise, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. Step right up and speak into the microphone, please.
Hi, what's your favorite, science fiction TV show besides Star Trek?
I didn't realize that there are other science fiction shows. I never knew that. I never knew that. Do you have other favorites besides Star Trek?
No.
All right, next question. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Nimoy. My name's James. I just was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what it was like to work with Gene Roddenberry.
Mr. Roddenberry, yes. Gene Roddenberry was a wonderfully talented, creative, interesting man. A very complicated man. We had an up and down relationship. We had a father-son relationship. Sometimes you get along with your dad and sometimes you don't. I always admired and respected him. He had a wonderful imagination, and he had a great and very sincere belief in the potential of mankind. That's what Star Trek was all about for him, to demonstrate, to dramatize the fact that mankind was as good as it gets, and that we could accomplish most anything if we put our minds and our hearts to it, that we have the brains to. You know, that in the 60s, when we were making a series, there was a book called, I think it was called Chariots of the Gods. And a man named Eric von Daniken presented the possible idea that Earth had been inhabited many, many years earlier by aliens, people from another planet, and that they had left behind these great works that were unexplained, fantastic creations that they had left behind. And it made Mr. Roddenberry very angry that people believed that. He argued that anything that was accomplished on this planet was accomplished by mankind, and anything that could be accomplished would be accomplished by mankind. He was a great believer in our future, and he gave us a wonderful gift when he gave us Star Trek. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Tattoo on my leg that actually is of Spock. So
You want me to see a tattoo?
I don't know if I can see it up here though.
The lighting is making it a little difficult for me to see what it is. What is it? I can't see it from here.
It's Spock. It's
Is
you.
Sept Spock?
As Spock.
I think that's very appropriate.
I was
Okay,
actually hoping you'd be around so that I could have you sign it so I can get it tattooed.
I wish I could be there. I really do. I'll tell you, this Skype thing is a blessing for me because it makes it easy to meet thousands and thousands of people that I would not get to meet otherwise. So I'm very happy to be here. So now you have a question for me?
Yeah, what was your favorite episode to shoot?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, when you say to shoot, I think as a director, because as a director I'm shooting film. I think it helps when I take my finger off the microphone. I really enjoyed, I guess the one episode that I always go to as being so meaningful to me was an episode called Amok Time, where Spock had to go home to go. On a sad note, Arlene Martell, who was the actress who played, I think her name was T'Pring, that Spock was supposed to be married to. She just passed away about a week or 10 days ago. Lovely, lovely lady. It was a very important episode for me because it was the first time that we were going to Spock's home planet of Vulcan, the first time we were seeing other Vulcans. We'd never seen another Vulcan before. So, and it was the first time, it was a beautiful script written by a great science fiction writer named Theodore Sturgeon. And the words "live long and prosper" were spoken for the first time in that episode. And this was seen for the first time in that episode. So those two factors, the "live long and prosper" (LLAP) and the hand gesture, became iconic factors for me and for Star Trek. And for that reason, I think that was perhaps the most important episode for the Spock character. Thank you for your question. Take care.
We're gonna take the camera down and show you this tattoo so you can see this tattoo.
I want to see it. Good, I want to see it. Okay, good.
That's killer.
Haley, is that your name, Haley?
Haley. It was an artist named Jesse Carlton at Zen Tattoo.
Where was that?
Zen Tattoo here in Salt Lake.
In Salt Lake. Well, I'm very flattered. You're carrying me around for the rest of your life. Okay, hi.
Hi, my name's Amir.
Hello, Amir.
Good to meet you. Love your work. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So last year, William Shatner was here.
Who?
He told a story about how you used to ride your bike to the recording studio every day. And he said that they used to play pranks quite a bit. And there was this one time where he hoisted your bike from the rafters and they had the spotlights on it. And my first question was, first of all, did you get him back? And do you remember that, you know? And that was my first question. And my second one...
I remember it very well. He thinks he's funny, but he's not. As a matter of fact, we were able to turn the joke on him one time, very seriously. I'll tell you this, if you want to hear the story, I'll tell it to you. You want to hear it? Well, yeah, so he thought it was fun to play jokes on people like that, to do things like that, to hide stuff and what have you. DeForest Kelley, who of course played Dr. McCoy and was such a wonderful actor and a great person, DeForest had a very lovely habit of coming to work every morning, and the first thing he would do would be to go to the food table. We called it the craft service table, the food table, and he would get himself a muffin. He would slice it in half, put it in a toaster, press the toaster down and wait for the toast to pop. And when he got his muffin, he would butter it and then have that with his coffee. That was his morning treat that he gave himself every day. Mr. Shatner decided that he was going to play a joke on DeForest Kelley. So one morning when D. Kelley came in and sliced his muffin in half and he put it in the toaster and he pressed a button, Mr. Shatner had somebody distract him. Somebody call him and say, "D, come over here, we need you here for a moment." And D walked away a few feet. Mr. Shatner popped the muffin up out of the toaster and he ate it. DeForest Kelley came back to the toaster and he said, "There's no muffin there," so he's kind of confused. I thought I did my muffin, but it's not there. Maybe I was double tasking or something. I'll do it again. So he did it again. He sliced the muffin, put it in the toaster. Mr. Shatner again had somebody distracted. "Hey, come over here, please, come over and take it." And Kelley came back and now realized what Shatner had been doing. He got very, very angry. And I said, "D, I wouldn't worry about it. If you stand the two of you, you and Shatner side by side, it's easy to see who's been eating the muffin." Thank
saw it, but what was that like? What led up to it? What was that?
Well, you mean, what the song? What was it? What happened? How did it happen?
No, I know what the song was about. No. Just
Yeah.
was it fun and it's just
Yeah,
marketing?
yeah. I made several albums of music in the late 60s, early 70s. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy music. I don't consider myself a singer, but they came to me and asked me if I would record some stuff, and I said, okay, why not?
You sound
We'll
great.
have some fun.
Yeah.
And a very talented gentleman named Charles Grion was producing these albums of my music, and one day he said, I got this idea, and this was many, many years ago. This is over 40 years ago. And he said, there's these books about the hobbits and the Tolkien books. And he said, I've written a song that I think might be fun for you to record. So I thought, that's catchy, and I read some of the Tolkien books and the material, and I thought, that's kind of fun. That's all there was to it. I just went in the studio and recorded it. And it became this thing that people have been talking about for 40 years.
I love it.
Land of Shire, the big, brave little hobbit whom we all admire. That's it, you know. I had a good time. We did it. That's what it was about.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing that.
I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind saying, "This is Spock, I'm not available, please leave me a message."
You want me to say, this is Spock, I'm not available, leave me a message?
Yeah, please.
I just said it.
Thank you.
Did someone put that on his telephone? Maybe. Okay, hi, how are you?
I'm good. My name is Lauren, and I had a question from my dad. He's in the audience, but he's not in mine. So his question was, what is left for Spock to fulfill his legacy? So like, what's next for your character, Spock?
What's next for Spock?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, first, let me talk to me about your dad. Where is your dad?
I'm not sure. I know he's back there somewhere.
Is he in the hall?
No, he's in here. He's in the room.
He's in the room someplace.
Yeah.
And he sent you to ask this question?
Yeah, because he doesn't have a VIP pass.
He doesn't have it. Oh.
Yeah. But he
You have a
lives there.
VIP pass and he does not.
Yeah.
Wow. How did that happen?
He's a
You
really
have-
good dad, so he gave me the VIP.
That's a good dad. He gave his
Yeah.
daughter the VIP pass.
Okay, the guy that's down here Dad, you can come up, he said. I don't know where you are.
Dad, you can be a VIP for a moment. Where's the nice dad? Is he coming?
Yeah, he's coming up.
He's coming, okay. Hey, here he comes.
Yeah.
All right, a big hand for the good dad. Hey, Dad, nice of you to give the VIP pass to your daughter. Good for you. Good for you. Now give me the question again.
Give you the question again?
Yeah.
I was just wondering what was next in Spock's legacy. What is left for him to do, following from the beginning of the series all the way up to the latest movies?
Yeah.
What
Well,
would you have him do next?
the last we heard from Spock, he was off doing work as an ambassador, and I truly wish. I'm going to try to get in touch with him because we need his help right now. We need his help in the Middle East. We need his help in Ukraine. We really do. We need his help a lot. I'm going to tell him you asked. I'm going to tell him that we're concerned about where he is and what he's doing, and maybe he can help us out, okay? Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Nimoy.
Hi. What's that on your head?
Hello, Mr. Nimoy.
Hi.
I've been wondering this question for a while. From the original series to 2009, when they asked you to play Spock again, what was your reaction to that?
What was what?
What was your reaction in 2009 when J.J. Abrams asked you to play Spock again?
Oh, yeah. I was really very, very touched and very flattered. I had never met him before. I did, actually, the strange thing about it is I knew his father. I knew J.J. Abrams' father, who was a television producer, and I had worked for him maybe 25 years ago. But anyway, Mr. Abrams called me and introduced himself, and he said that he was going to be directing the next Star Trek film. Would I come and have a conversation with him? And I thought that he would, he would want to hear my stories about Star Trek and what I thought Star Trek should be about, and what was my experience as an actor and so forth. And what he told me was that he felt so strongly about the show, about Star Trek in general, and the Spock character very specifically, that he wanted very much to know if I would care to be involved in the film, and he gave me some ideas about what he thought about Spock. I was very flattered. I was very touched that this person from another generation came to me and talked so intelligently and so passionately about Star Trek and about Spock specifically, that I said I would be happy to do it. We've become very good friends, and we've worked together a couple of times now. He's in England right now, directing, if you can believe it, directing the next Star Wars film. And I wish him well. It's a gigantic jump from Star Trek to Star Wars. They're so different. But he's a very talented man, and I'm quite sure he'll do a good job. But my reaction was that I was very flattered and very touched. Thank you for the question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, barely. My name is Ken Curtis, and I died of advanced emphysema in 2006 from smoking. I also urge nobody to smoke. But since my dad died, would you consider adopting me too?
Consider yourself adopted, yes. Okay. What else can I do for you?
Is, you've been involved with Star Trek from the very beginning, and are still today, as I understand. But what would be your favorite moment in all of the different Star Trek situations you've been in? What's your favorite moment throughout the Star Trek?
Oh, what a question. So many. You know that we're in September now. 50 years ago right now, we were preparing to film the first Star Trek pilot. We started filming in November, 50 years ago. This coming November will be the 50th anniversary of the beginning of the shooting of the very first Star Trek pilot. I think it might be interesting for you folks to know that when we made the first episode, there was a moment where we were on the bridge and we were being threatened by something that was dangerous, that was up on our screen. And as I recall, we would try to dodge it. It would be right there in front of us again. We'd go right, we'd go left, and it was always right there in front of us again. There was a lot of tension and agitation on the bridge about what to do and how to deal with this thing. And Spock had one word to say. And they came to me with a camera, and I said, "Fascinating." And the director came to me and said, no, wait. Don't get excited. Be the cool, rational scientist. And I think that's the moment where I really understood what Spock could be about. And instead of all that anxiety and emotion and tension, I simply said, "Fascinating." Thank you for the question. Thank you.
And I'm sure it's the way you said it. Fascinating.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Nimoy. My name is Devin. It's a pleasure.
Hi.
Well, I have a question. I understand that you had somewhat of an influence on the way that the great Vulcan greeting was handled, and basically what I'm asking is, how has your heritage influenced the way you acted out this role of Spock, and maybe an example or two of how you shaped the character through just interacting with the director and so forth?
Yeah. Well, if I understand your question correctly, you're talking about how the character was developed? Is that what you're asking about?
Yes, sir. And how you influence that character, and specifically, I'm thinking in terms of the Vulcan hand gesture that
you mean
portrayed.
this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, some of you probably heard the story, so maybe many of you have. I'm going to be very brief about it. It was the episode called A Mock Time, which I mentioned earlier, and we were seeing other Vulcans for the first time, and I thought Vulcans should have some kind of a greeting when they meet, and I said that to the director. He said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, humans shake hands when they meet, and civilian people salute each other when they meet. Asian people bow to each other when they meet. So I think the Vulcans should have some kind of a greeting." He asked me what I would suggest, and I reached back into my Jewish childhood when I was raised in an Orthodox Jewish family. And when we went to holiday services, I remember when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I was impressed by these gentlemen who were sort of a men's chorus and chanting a prayer for the congregation. And as they chanted this prayer with a loud chanting, almost kind of a revival kind of meaning, kind of emphasis, they had their hands stuck out in that gesture towards the congregation. I saw that and it stuck in my mind. I didn't realize it would come in handy someday, but I began to work on how to do it. And I suggested to the director that we do that. And that's how that's how it was introduced into Star Trek. Okay? Thank you. Yeah.
They're all here, they can't even hear you. Here they are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.